Okay, folks, it is the beginning. I am on my way to go pick up our Cornish cross from the post office and bring them back to our in-city limits house. All right, y'all. I got them. I got my babies. 125 Cornish cross plus a free surprise chick because McMurray Hatchery is the most adorable hatchery, and they give you the option of a little mystery free surprise chick, so we always do that because why not? And hopefully it's an awesome egg laying breed because we're trying to wade our way back into maybe trying to get egg laying hens also for a little bit of an urban chicken project I'm trying to figure out. Okey-dokey. So, all right, babies, you guys have to be really gentle. These are tiny babies. They can be squished really easily.
Okay, guys,
Come over here and see it.
I gotta get into her,
Let's not start grabbing yet, Murphy. Let Aaron show. We're not gonna have one, honey. Oh no, we've got death. We have death.
No!
Calm down. Let's calm down. Yep, it was the mystery chick. See? I only have opened one box so far, so we'll see.
Can I take
There are
it?
3. No, you can't take them, honey.
Hopefully
Mommy has
there's
to dip
2
their
mystery
beaks.
chicks.
No, there probably wasn't, but that's just part of life. Nope, Mommy's gonna do this part. Okay, friends, we're back. So we have the chicks currently in a kiddie pool in our utility room, which is just off our garage, because we are having a really bad cold snap right now and our garage is not insulated. So that just stressed me out too much because we want to make sure that they're warm. And for those of you that don't know, these type of chicks, they need to be kept at, they need about 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit for them for the first week. And then you can slowly drop that by like 5 degrees every few days until they don't need it anymore. At about like 2 or 3 weeks. It really kind of just depends on how they're feathering out. So, Dublin's back there, petting chicks. So, when you get your chicks shipped from a hatchery, instead of getting them from like the feed store, they're gonna come in a box like this. These are from McMurray Hatchery, McMurray Hatchery. I really like them. I've used them several times. So they will be shipped the day that they are hatched, and then they'll be to you within 72 hours. Mine were here less than 48 hours from the time that they texted me and said that they were shipping. So basically, they don't need to eat or drink in that time that they're shipping, because right before they hatch, they absorb the whole yolk, and that feeds and waters them basically for the next 72 hours. So they will have not eaten or drank when you bring them home from ordering them in this way. If you're getting them from the feed store, it's most likely that they've had them for several days at that point. So what we do when we get them here, we learned this special little watering trick from Justin Rhodes. He calls it the magic water. It's essentially just a mixture of a little bit of honey, some garlic, and then apple cider vinegar. It really just gives the chicks like a boost to get them started. And then it kind of supports their immune system, gives them that sugar boost from the honey to kind of give them extra energy so that they can be, you know, running around healthy like. And yeah, it just kind of boosts their immune system. We don't do any sort of medicated feed on our chickens. So when you first bring baby chicks home like this, since I said they haven't eaten or drank in their life yet, you need to make sure that they know where to go and what they're doing, because they don't have a mama hen to show them that. So we take each individual chick, and I was going to film this, but it's really hard to film. Like, I just didn't kind of premeditate it very well, and I have 4 kids that are like extremely excited to help and touch chicks and all that stuff, so it can be a little bit more stressful than enjoyable, so I didn't film it. But basically, each chick needs to be taken individually out of the box, have their beak dipped into the water so they know where it is, and then they can be put into the brooder. We also are following the advice of what McMurray says, and also Joel Salatin. He talks about setting down a layer of newspaper and then putting the grit and the feed on there, so the chicks are more likely to peck at that and learn versus the shavings, because they can tend to do that because they immediately have the instinct to want to peck at something and eat. So we laid down all that cardboard and a couple of the lids, and then we spread feed on it for them. So They're doing really good. This is good too. You want to see your baby chicks moving around and with enough space. At first, when we first got them in here, they were completely crowded and huddled underneath the lights. And as the room and like the lights kind of warmed up the brooder, they started to disperse, which is good. But you don't want them to be piling up. That's really not good because that's how they die. We only had one death in transit, which is actually extremely good. That's amazing, honestly. Usually there's one or two that die. We had, McMurray gives you the option of getting a surprise chick, and the one that we got died. And that's to be expected because it's a laying variety bird and they're just a lot more fragile and smaller than the meat varieties. So that one got stepped on, stood on. They were all standing on top of it when I opened the box. So I know they are so cute. So that one died, but we haven't had one Cornish cross death, which that's just amazing. So hopefully, put it back in, honey. We don't want it to poop out here. So hopefully that's all the deaths that we have, and we'll see what happens. So everybody's all tucked in. They got water, they got feed, and yeah, we're super excited to be farmers again. Little tiny rocks and dirt, and to provide them something for their gizzard to grind against. So you need to provide that for baby chicks because they haven't had that. They haven't been provided that. And if mama hen was around, she would be pecking at the dirt and they would be mimicking her, and they would therefore digest little pieces of rocks that can help them. Look, there's already a baby chick in this bowl of grit. It's like, you know what I need. Thank you for providing it. So I went outside. You can buy grit from the store, but it's actually better to provide a natural grit from like the bird's environment. I think there's something to be said for it increasing their microbiome, or I don't know, maybe just getting it for free because it's basically just little tiny bits of rock. So I went out and I grabbed some rock that we had. We got rocks from my brother's house to provide to build garden bed borders, and there was a little bit. It's like kind of shaly. It falls apart. It's really crumbly, and there was some outside, and I went and just grabbed some, and then I smashed it up with our meat tenderizer in like a cloth diaper. So I made it the same size roughly as their food. See it right there. And I'm just gonna sprinkle that around on the newspaper. So you can actually sprinkle it into their feed if you want. You can give them like a free choice little feeder of it. Essentially, I'm giving them a free choice. by putting it around for them to kind of explore and find it themselves. And it will just be here. They're going to be really intrigued by anything on the ground. Chickens just peck at everything, and when you drop things in front of them, they instinctively are just like, oh, what is that? And so they will run around and try to get some. And so they will put that into their little gizzards, and that will help them to digest their food. I'm giving them a little bit of grit, and I'll probably give them some more. Once they're out and they're on pasture, we won't need to provide it for them because they will just naturally find it.
Look at all this.
They're pretty darn cute, huh? See? It's not very big. I smashed it down to be roughly the same size as their feed. If you look over here at their feed, put a little bit in my hand, his feed is actually a little bit bigger. So, just sprinkle that around here. Chickens are naturally super curious, which is, I think, one of their best features. I guess it could probably be one of their worst features if you're having free-range chickens, because then they're going to be getting into everything and destroying everything. But when it comes to searching for food, they are really, really curious, and they are really, what am I trying to say? They're really wonderful foragers. What's wrong? What is ow?
My leg.
Okay, for educational purposes, I don't even know exactly what's going on here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research as to what's going on, because this is something I haven't seen before. I'll show it to you guys, though. We thought it was pasty butt. I know, baby, I'm sorry. We thought it was pasty butt, but it isn't, because the crop or the shoot or whatever is down here, the butt's down there. This is a weird kind of, it's so hard to get it to zoom. It's almost like a weird growth on the outside of its body.